What's going on, guys? It's your boy CMB. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and let's get into this one really quickly. Now, guys, I want to talk a little bit about Oscar De La Hoya. He is a real one. He's giving Gervonta Tank Davis his props, giving him his respect for taking on such a tough competitor in Hector Luis Garcia. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Hector Luis Garcia, he is the WBA super featherweight champion, undefeated fighter, 16-0, coming off of two big back-to-back wins, guys, moving up to 135 to face off against Gervonta Tank Davis, which some people are looking at as a tune-up. But honestly, guys, this is not a tune-up in my opinion. I think it's a very, very tough fight. I think this is a fight that Gervonta Tank Davis could lose if he's not careful. And a lot of people who are familiar with Hector Luis Garcia are kind of surprised that he's taking on such a tough challenge before going into a mega fight with Ryan Garcia that's set to take place in April in Las Vegas, Nevada. And also, like I said, Oscar De La Hoya did give Ryan Garcia his props for taking the fight. And at the same time, he was a little bit disillusioned with his fighter, Ryan Garcia, opting to pull out of his tune-up fight, which was supposed to take place January the 28th against the Filipino boxer Mercito Gesta. And he's opted to pull out of that fight and focus on facing off against Gervonta Tank Davis in April. And Oscar thinks that's not a really good move. He thinks it's a mistake. He thinks it would have helped him to prepare for a fighter like Gervonta Tank Davis. And honestly, guys, I do agree with him on that. I think Ryan Garcia possibly needed a fight like this to make sure he was sharp before going into a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, let's see what Oscar had to say. I'm going to pull up his quotes here. He was doing a interview with FightHype.com. So he says here, this is a quote from him: "That's the risk you have to take, and you have to give it up to Tank Davis," said Oscar De La Hoya to Fight Hype about Gervonta taking a risky tune-up against Hector Luis Garcia on January the 7th. "He's confident in his abilities. He has a plan. He knows what he wants to do," De La Hoya said about Tank. "I don't think he's calling it a tune-up fight. I think we're all calling it a tune-up fight because it's not Ryan Garcia. But yeah, it's a dangerous fight. It's a fight that can possibly spoil the big plans we have for Ryan and Tank in April, but we're crossing our fingers." So there you have it, guys. Gervonta Tank Davis getting props from his arch nemesis promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, for taking such a tough fight. And that's why I said Oscar's a real one. He knows a tough fight when he sees it. And he knows a guy who knows what he wants and has the abilities, confident in his abilities, and he has a plan. And that's exactly what he said there. So Gervonta Tank Davis taking this tough fight, Ryan Garcia pulling out of his tune-up fight to focus on Gervonta Tank Davis. Is it a mistake? Honestly, I think it's a mistake. I think he needs to get that work in. I think Gervonta Tank Davis is one of those fighters. He has a lot of experience. He's been in big fights before. Ryan Garcia, not so much. He hasn't really been in a fight with a high caliber opponent, in my opinion. I think he does possess the tools necessary to beat someone like Gervonta Tank Davis, being that he's a taller, rangier fighter with power as well. You guys know he has a devastating left hook, but he hasn't been in the ring with a guy like Gervonta Tank Davis, who also has power and has a high boxing IQ. So we're going to see what happens with this. If Tank gets past Hector Luis Garcia, I do have Tank as the favorite against Ryan Garcia. I do have him as a slight favorite going into the fight with Hector Garcia as well. But we're going to see what happens comes January 7th. And if he gets past that, then I guess it's on with him and Ryan Garcia. So you guys let me know what you think about that in the comment section. What Oscar De La Hoya had to say about Gervonta Tank Davis. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.